What up, y'all? It's your boy Too Easy. I'm back. I know I haven't really been making videos or things of that nature, but I just felt like, it's after Christmas. A lot of basketball's been played. We got a good sample size. So I feel like now's the best time to really put my foot forward and just say what I think about the season so far. And so with this video, I'm sure you've read the title. I'm going to be talking about the Bucks. I'm going to be talking about Giannis and just what do I see and what's my impression of the Bucks throughout the season. Where do I think they're going to end up? It's just a prediction I'm going to put out there, and we'll check back maybe a couple months later if I was right or not. And for my case, I hope I'm wrong. And so with the Bucks, they're right now currently they're second in the East, I believe. Giannis is playing out of his mind. He's averaging 31, 11 and 5, just a monster season, the most he's ever scored in his career. He's also playing great defense, and without Chris Middleton, he's doing all of this. I think Chris Middleton's only played 7 games this season, so he's been balling out of his mind. And for the most part, the role players have been playing okay. They've been playing solid at times against maybe lesser competition. So if you were just from the outside looking in, you think that, hey, the Bucks have a really good chance to win a championship. And who knows, they may get over the hump this time, because last year they lost in Game 7 to the Boston Celtics, who ended up going to the NBA Finals. And so why am I making this video? It's because of the Christmas game. And even prior to that, the Brooklyn Nets game as well. And even prior to that, the Cavaliers game. And just what I've been seeing from the Bucks lately, and what do I think either needs to happen, or if it doesn't happen, where do I see these Bucks heading? And so for me, if you don't know this about me, I'm a big Giannis Antetokounmpo fan, and ergo I'm a conditional Bucks fan, and that being that if Giannis leaves, I'll no longer be a Bucks fan. So I'm a Bucks fan as long as Giannis is there. And so yeah, am I going to be a little biased? Yes, I will, but I also try to be fair as well. And so with that being said, I was going into the season, I was very optimistic about the Bucks. I thought that Giannis was going to have an amazing MVP year, which he is. I did think that Brook Lopez was going to be great for the Bucks, which he is, and he's actually a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. I did think Jrue Holiday would improve. You see a little bit of that, and some of it's not right. My more goal was to hope he would be more consistent, but haven't really seen that this year. And so with that, we go into the Christmas games, and what I've been seeing from the Bucks lately is they play hard. You can never accuse the Bucks of not playing hard and not playing basketball the right way in that. So they are pretty disciplined as far as defense goes and things of that nature. So it's more so on the coaching, honestly. And for me, Coach Budenholzer is the most overrated coach in the NBA. I really feel like if the Bucks didn't win that championship and Giannis didn't save his job, he would have been fired, because of the things that we are still experiencing now in this NBA season. And what that is that he refuses, one, to make adjustments, two, to analyze what's going on in the situation, and as a result of that, put the right players in the game to account for that. 3, he still, even now, I think it's year 10 for Giannis, and as far as Budenholzer, I think this is his 4th or 5th year he's been coaching him. He still does not put Giannis in positions to be successful, and that was glaring in those games. Last night against the Celtics, it's shown against the Nets, it's shown against even though he had a great game against the Cavs, it's still like the fact that there's not sets and constant plays that are running through Giannis. Instead, whenever Giannis has scored, it's either when he's at the top of the key, whether he's coming off a screen and roll, or whether it's in transition, and sometimes in the post. Yet, if he was on any other team, like if he was on the Warriors, bro, it would be so much easier for him to get these buckets. He'd probably be averaging maybe 35 easy if he was a focal point on another team. And yet, in spite of the lackluster and lackadaisical offense, he still is averaging 31. But when you watch these games, he low-key could easily have 35, easily have 40 in a lot of these games. But it's due to Coach Budenholzer benching him earlier than he should, keeping him under this stupid I only want to play you 33 minutes a game or 30 minutes a game bullshit. Even when it's a competitive and crucial game where you really need him out there, sometimes you need your best player to play 40 minutes that night, and yet he still won't do it. And so that's just one piece of it. The fact that they do not know how to. He still does not know how to use Giannis, and as a result of that, because he's in this stagnant and lackadaisical offense, like it makes it real easy for defending teams to pull the wall up or make it difficult for them. Because all they have to do is, okay, all we got to do is contain Giannis and then stop the other guys. Because once he kicks it out to them, they're not going to score, and that goes into my second part. The players that Giannis has against him, you would think that they're, great players that support him, but they're really not. If you look at the three-point percentage on this Bucks team, they're one of the worst three-point shooting teams. And a lot of that goes to the wing players. You would think Grayson Allen would be an amazing three-point shooter, which you probably look at his percentage is good, but guess what? He doesn't even take them. Javon Carter, you would think he's a great three-point, but he doesn't even take them. Jrue Holiday is, to me, I haven't pulled up the stats for him, but he's one of the worst high volume three-point shooters. Like, he may be at 32 at best right now, but yet for the amount of shots that he takes, he should not be taking them, but yet he does. And then you look at Pat Connaughton, who's shooting bad this year. If you're looking at all these guys that are shooting bad, but guess what? Because you're shooting bad, it makes it easier on the defense to contain and double and triple team Giannis. On any other basketball team, that should not work, because in the NBA, if you're taking wide open threes, you should be making them, but yet that doesn't happen for Giannis. And it's so frustrating to watch. I don't understand why it happens. Third, going into the role players as well, is that what I've noticed, and again, if you're a Bucks fan, you probably noticed this too, a lot of these guys, they don't even know how to play off Giannis well. Like, they'll get the ball and they'll think it's their time to shine. They won't look for Giannis. They won't try to find ways to get the ball back to Giannis. Instead, they try to play hero ball and just try to go 1-on-5 on their own. If you're going into a sea of people, you should pass the ball just like Giannis passes the ball. But instead, these guys will try to make something happen that's not even there and then take a bad shot. There'll be situations where a team is going on a run, and instead of getting the ball to Giannis to stop the bleeding, you'll have a guy like Grayson Allen, or a guy like, not even Javon Carter, a guy like Jordan Nwora, or you have a guy like Jrue Holiday even, who's the second option, but a guy like him who will take an inexplicable bad shot to even continue to lead for another team. And it's so fucking frustrating, because there'll be times they'll look Giannis off and then take a bad shot. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, it's so frustrating. So going to that, watching these games, if you watch the Nets game, if you watch the Celtics game, if you even watch the Cavaliers game, it wasn't Giannis why they lost. It's these role players who are not playing to their capability, and then Budenholzer watching it and not making adjustments according to how bad these fucking people are playing. And then we lose the game. And so watching that, man, because a lot of this shit was the same thing that happened against the Celtics when they shot like maybe under 20%. They missed like 26 shots in a row, just in a ridiculous amount of threes they missed in a row. And as a result of that, they lost the game. Not even that, game 6, Giannis had 44 and 20. In any other team, that should close the deal in an elimination game. They were up, what were they up? They were up 3-2. Giannis drops 44 and 20, his best game of the series. And guess what? They lost. Why? Because the role players were not making open shots. They were not playing the way they were playing. Jrue Holiday decided to have one of the worst shooting nights I have ever seen in the playoffs. And then Budenholzer had a great idea to put George Hill and Grayson Allen on Jason Tatum, and they're surprised that he's going off for 40 as well. It's just certain things that this team does. It's just like, it's head scratching. Like, you want to root for them, but then they just do things that just make you like say, huh? Why? What the fuck are you doing? But yet they keep doing it. Why? Because Giannis is so great that they end up winning the games anyway. But I'm telling you, if y'all are watching these games and you're seeing what they're doing, I don't know, man. Like, I didn't realize Chris Middleton was very valuable to the Bucks, but I didn't realize how valuable he was, because just to have somebody who can make an open shot is so valuable right now. And because these guys are either afraid to shoot, or they just can't shoot. Like they'll either shoot and brick it, or they'll pump fake and take a worse shot. It's frustrating to watch, and yet they're still second in the East, and that's why he's my MVP candidate, because the fact that this team is overachieving with the type of roster and the type of basketball play they've been doing, it's amazing to me, because they had no business even, like, when you watch that Celtics team, they're so deep and they play basketball the right way. They have better wings. Like, it's like, fam, like, how are we gonna beat these guys if you're the Bucks, if you're thinking that? And so they have to make some changes. Budenholzer has to make adjustments and decide, and finally decide, like, hey, if my game plan is getting away from me, I should probably change my game plan. Most smart coaches will do that, will watch how the game is being played, and they'll make adjustments according to that. You don't just stick to your game plan, and you see somebody cooking one of your players like Grayson Allen, you see Tatum cooking Grayson Allen, and they're hunting Grayson Allen. Logic would tell me I should probably take Grayson Allen out of the game, especially when he's not giving me nothing on the offensive end, but yet that doesn't happen. So I don't know, man. I'm still holding on because it's still early in the season. A lot of stuff can happen. They've only played 33, 34 games. So there's still a lot of basketball to be played, but these past couple games, they have not been it. And these wing players have not been it either. The whole Joe Ingles project, he is still a long way from being who he used to be in Utah. So I don't know what I'm seeing. My solutions is, I say you play Marjon a whole lot more, Marjon Beauchamp. I think he's shown a lot of flashes of greatness as a rookie, and I think you should definitely play him more. He's more athletic. He can make an open shot, and he competes defensively. And so I don't know why, again, I think Budenholzer is doing this whole, oh, you're young, so I'm not going to play you thing. But listen, use your eyes. You see this kid, every time he's out there, good things happen, especially when he plays with Giannis. You should be playing him over Grayson Allen, George Hill, Jordan Nwora, even Pat Connaughton. He was your first round pick. Let him play. Stop with the bullshit. But yet that's not happening. So I hope it happens. But I think if that happened, put Marjon on these wings on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I think more things will change. And then going back to another thing defensively, they've been playing great defensively, right? The drop coverage, even though I'm not a fan of it, it has been working with Brook Lopez, and I understand that with Brook Lopez out there, you have to do drop coverage, so I get it. But the idea of just having Giannis roam and guarding the worst player on the opposing team, especially when it's a playoff contender, a championship contending team, that can't be the strategy. If Brook Lopez is going to be out there in drop coverage, Giannis has to guard the best player on the team, especially if they're a wing or a forward. He has to be guarding Jason Tatum and taking him out the game. It just has to happen. You cannot have Grayson Allen, or you can't have Grayson Allen or Drew Holiday or Pat Connaughton or Wesley Matthews. You cannot have them guarding Tatum, Brown, or Kevin Durant. That cannot happen, especially when we have a defensive player of the year who can guard in the perimeter. We have to. I understand that's a lot for Giannis to do, especially when he has to carry offensively. But I'm telling you, when you're watching the opposing star cook your basketball team and cook the guys who are guarding them, you as a superstar, you have to step up and do something about it. You can't just keep guarding some fucking bum on the opposing team that has no impact on the game. You have to guard the best player at that point, because the rim's already being protected by Brook, so he has to do more. I understand that's a big load he's having to carry because of defense and offense, but it has to be done, because guess what? We are lacking right now. We are lacking. So I know this is being long-winded, so let me stop here. But yeah, man, I wasn't happy about what I saw. I still believe in the Bucks. I still believe in Giannis, but man, if these changes don't happen, I don't see it. I don't see it. Like, they're gonna have to win me over, and I think these next coming games are gonna be very telling of how they respond to that bad road trip that they had. So, if you like this video, like and subscribe. Share. I'm gonna keep coming with more videos and be more consistent. And thanks, guys, for listening. Hope you have a good time, and we'll talk next time.